Hey!
Thank God you stopped the music then, because I was about to do the stupidest dance.
Damn it! My instinct was to let it go on forever.
Good. You made a good choice.
Well, there you go. Hi, everybody. I'm Ian.
He is.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm Jerrod.
There it is. And this is Ian and Jerrod's Humpday Extravaganza. Up late with Ian and Jerrod. We're at a different time. Whole hour.
Everybody's got to put off taking that melatonin for a little bit.
Well, maybe the smooth sounds of our voices will help people.
That's right.
Get ready for slumber.
Sleepy time, everybody.
Slumber's a weird word.
That's just my thought on it.
Slumber.
Anyways. I wonder, it sounds an awful lot like lumber.
Right. What's the etymology?
I cannot see any connection whatsoever between trees and sleep.
No.
Or even like lumbering, that kind of walking, maybe.
Oh, I wonder if that's it. I love etymology. I love figuring out where words came from.
I did too. But all the ones I know are ones that I don't want to say on our.
Yeah, I got you.
Show right here.
I got you. That's not our brand.
Right. We're not those kind of people.
No.
Etymologists.
We're not ists at all. No. We're just Ian and Jerrod.
That's right, and that's good enough for us.
Yeah, and apparently one viewer.
Partners.
So yeah, we're I appreciate everybody adjusting if you adjusted your time frame to watch us live, I appreciate it. Just came from a very great training about being sensitive when performing and not punching down and a whole bunch of stuff. So it was very well worth my time. And but we didn't want to go another 2 weeks without a show, so we pushed it back an hour to accommodate that workshop. So I appreciate those.
Yeah, I did that workshop on Saturday. It was a great workshop.
Yep.
And it's easy to categorize it as a sensitivity training or something like that, but it really makes for better comedy too.
Yeah, it really explores what's funny, why things are funny, because insensitivity, it's been known to get laughs every once in a while, but is that really what we want to be as a community? And especially doing improv, and it's improv is a community and team-based game. So we want to be inclusive and not exclusive. So it really makes sense for us to explore, the best way to do that and accomplish those goals. Yeah. So
because otherwise it's shock comedy, and shock comedy is really, that didn't last past the early 90s.
Yeah.
And if people who out there say, can't tell these kind of jokes, so those jokes just aren't funny anymore.
Yeah. We've grown, and it's okay. And it's okay that you once found those things funny. We've changed, we've gotten better. Now it makes you cringe. That's okay. That's growth, right? It's there are things that happened, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s that we look like now, and it's dated. Well, guess what? Things happened in the 90s, the early 2000s. We've grown. We are better. We take care of each other a little bit better, and can do better. So there you go. And
I just think in general, comedic sensibilities are more sophisticated now. Yep. And people can mix up, unsophisticated comedy with dumb comedy. Not the same thing. Dumb comedy can be very funny. Mm-hmm. It's, just dumb comedy. Whereas unsophisticated comedy, that's really that punching down comedy, the cheap shots. I'm a fan of you'll see comedians put up stand-up comics doing a thing, and they'll do roast wars. Those can seem brutal, but they're that's by design towards each other, towards a willing participant. Yeah. So it's looked
there's agency there. You're participating. You know what you're getting into. There's agency.
Exactly. It'll feel like punching down, but they're on the same level right there.
Oh my God, Jerrod! I need to stop this conversation because how long have we been doing this show?
A decade, 15
going on at least 2 years. maybe 18 months.
2 instances of me having a ponytail
Yeah.
beard.
This is my mom. It's the
All
first time
right.
she's ever found us live. All this time she sets out, but or at least let me put it this way. She mentioned us in the comments. She may have lurked a couple of times, but the fact that she said it. So welcome, Barbara Martin. It's good to have you. Yeah. Right now, I think you're our only viewer, so that's awesome.
Feel free to make fun of Ian as much as my mom makes fun of me.
Yeah, Jerrod's mom is a pretty regular. It makes regular appearances in the comments and tears them down. So you know, what's fair for Jerrod is fair for me.
And if you need any help coming up with material, I'm more than happy to.
Yeah, Jerrod has spent a lot of time with me in the last 6 months.
True.
Between performing Pig and trips to Pennsylvania. It only took her an hour to get here. See, she started for the 7 o'clock show, made it for the 8. Nice.
That's what that is. That's perseverance right there.
That is perseverance. There it is. All right. So we didn't really even talk before the show. I kind of want to talk about 401 Gives. Is it a good time to talk about it?
Yeah. I was going to talk about. I was just going to say a quick blurb before that about the past. Just doing a show on Saturday and hanging out with a bunch of our friends that we made from Improv Utopia down in Pennsylvania. Had a chance for them to come up, and they're not watching right now, but they might do the rewatch. So now,
which is hurtful if they're watching the rewatch. The fact that you're not here live is hurtful.
It is.
I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm gonna have
to shout out, but there's some guilt that's coming along with this.
Yeah.
A backpack full of guilt, fanny pack of guilt along with this shout out.
Oh, and I'll so as Jerrod's mentioning, we had Mike and Kim from New York City come down, and Katie from Connecticut join us for a show. Mike and Kim we all met at my house, but then Mike and Kim showed over. Jerrod, I wanted to tell you, and I think the audience will appreciate it. Mike works for the airlines.
Yep.
So I woke up the next morning, and on my countertop were nips of all kinds of wines as a thank you for staying in the house. And I was like, wonder how you got these. So, he said there's a lot of pork because we can't give that away on the airplane. So
Him and Kim are just the sweetest people, aren't they?
Aren't they? Yeah. That's the thing, and I'm going to geek out a little bit about comedy and improv communities, but it's just so amazing to me that we met these folks for a long weekend at a camp. I had met Mike once before, very briefly, when he performed locally, and chatted with him for like 10 minutes. So, and then got to really know him and Kim and a ton of other people at this camp. Never performed together. Never, just had conversation. We ate a lot of meals together over the weekend is basically how we got to know them. And, they had reached out and said, I wish I had come and see you. I had a special show one weekend, and they're like, I wish we could make it down from New York City to check it out. And I was like, anytime. And they took that as it was intended and said, yes, when can we do this? Which is a good life rule. Stop. Like I'm in a conversation now where other people want to do the same thing. And I'm like, okay, what's the date we're going to do this? Or else we're just going to talk about when's the best time. Right. So anyways, but my point to all this is here are people that we've just met tangentially, and we get up on stage, perform, and I thought it was a pretty good set. I think it was an enjoyable set.
It was fun,
like what other art form can you just get all together and make a shared theater experience, a shared comedy experience that people really, really enjoyed? There were definitely some good reactions from the audience. So that's awesome. That's another reason why I love my hobby.
Yeah, it was great seeing him again. Great kind of being able to go up and do improv, which is where we all met.
Mm-hmm.
We all met at the improv camp, but we hadn't all performed together. So it was a fun little opportunity to go up there and do that and have some fun with them, and just, with your friends. Having fun with friends is really what it is. And the big secret to a good show is if you're having fun, the audience having fun. If you're having fun on stage, the people who are going to be having fun in the audience. And that, the big secret of improv right there, everyone.
And we did it right because we went out for dinner afterwards and we rode the high. So even our dinner afterwards was funny for us. Like I just laughed a lot. It felt good. People were generally funny, and it felt really good. There were root beer floats to be had. There was pretzel sandwiches to be eaten. So
it was a delightful night. It really was.
I don't know why we don't use malted barley as our post show. It's so close. I thought it was a couple blocks further. So, anyways,
I had no idea it was that close. I mean, that's.
I was like, why aren't we going here all the time? I could end each show with a pretzel sandwich like that. No problem there.
I will tell you, a few weeks ago when I went out with really Netflix and chill after your all show, and then we went out for a few drinks. That just ruined my whole weekend. I cannot do that. And it wasn't even that I had much to drink. It was just like being out too late, and then I can't sleep late anymore.
It's true, Jerrod, because we had I think you and I were the impetus for that night ending. We were like, where's the check? Like, once you decided you weren't going to get your fried pickles.
Right. I could swear I'd asked for them.
And I got that ride home. So by the time I got home, it's like midnight. And I'm like, oh, I'm too old for this crap.
Yeah.
But I love it. That's my favorite. Like, again, Pig is not only the performance, but that's what I keep telling people why they should take improv classes is like, even if you don't want to perform, if you're looking for a community of like-minded folks, like just really take a level and then just keep coming to shows. Like, you don't ever have to perform. You're a part of that community. So.
Yeah. I always say I love watching level 1 students coming into their second class. Because that first class is such a high. My first improv class was an entirely different theater, but it's all the same in that you go in there and you don't know anybody else in there. You're all like nervous and shy, and they have you looping around doing wacky things. And it's like, oh, all the stuff that I've always liked doing, but that people kind of give me crap about. Now I can do it. Now I feel safe doing it. And then you start learning stuff about how to be funny. And it's with these friends who they share an itch that you've shared, but you've never, that's a tough one to scratch on your own. So you meet all these people who are all scratching the same itch that they've had for years, all their lives, some of them, and it's just a great environment.
So it's a shared rash, is what you're saying.
It's a shared rash, yeah.
Yeah.
I've also realized that, like, at my age now, I'm less up for like, let's go out for drinks after the show, and more like, let's go out for breakfast in the morning.
If I lived a little bit closer to Pig, I would be all over that. I would be. Yeah. I love going out to breakfast. It's my favorite meal to go out for, and I love doing it with people that I like.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But well, the other thing is that you're on the 7 o'clock block. I'm gonna say on Friday nights we go out a little earlier than the 9 o'clock, but it's you're not on that, so you're even earlier than me.
Yeah. Last Saturday was the first one in a while since I became A&D that I didn't stay for the 9 o'clock show, because usually I want to watch, give notes, whatever.
Yeah. I think you really rallied. I appreciate it. And I think that was a good decision. I was happy you were coming. I wasn't sure what your decision was going to be, because I know you really want to be as many shows as possible, but I think it was a good.
I don't miss many, and again, friends coming up from all parts of.
Well, you also made the trek down to me, and that was impressive. So
I didn't realize how far away. Oh my God!
I bury that. I don't really say.
Oh my God!
Yeah, you are such a Rhode Islander now, but yes,
I am. I thought, and I don't know, when people say where somewhere isn't around, I have no idea.
Yeah,
I live in Cranston. I think I'm thinking, oh, he just lives like directly south of East Greenwich or something.
No, you got to go south and west. That's the problem. It's not the going south; it's the going west that adds the time. So,
like, when I saw the GPS, how much time it was, I was just like, no way. And then when I left to go back up because I had to go early because I had some microphones for the camera phones, and I caught every single red light. I thought I was going to see you, and everybody caught up to me because and that's, when we talk about people having superpowers, that is my superpower. I will get the red lights.
Yep.
It's uncanny. It's amazing, and I get every single freaking one.
And those Route 1, from Route 1 to Route 4, they are timed that if you hit one, you're hitting them all. Because that's my commute to work. So, and it's in that direction. It doesn't seem to really happen as often on my way home. But going to work, and maybe that's my mentality because I can't be late to get home, but I can be late to work. You know what I'm saying? So I notice it one more. But I swear to God, if I hit one, I might as well just pause and grab a coffee and start again because I'm going to be in. I don't know. There's like 8 lights.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, because it's true. At night when the lights don't, because I think they're censored. So if there's not a lot of traffic, they don't activate. I can get home in 35 minutes, but going to work 45 to 50, and it's because of those lights. Yep.
Oh.
Anyways, yeah.
Goddamn Thomas.
Old men shouting at the moon here.
That's right.
Yeah. Let's just. I'm going to do a little tease, and then we can get into your stuff. But this weekend, I wanted to tell everybody. We'll mention it more at the end.
You're right. We should talk about it as much as possible.
I just if people aren't going to stay for the whole thing, I just want to mention it. We talked about how much we enjoyed Providence Improv Guild, and during the middle of COVID, we made the decision to move theaters, and it's a good decision. But it was a costly decision, and it costs money to keep our theater open. And we don't make much money on shows. We make money on classes, and the classes have been slow to bounce back from COVID and the move and all that good stuff. So now more than ever, we are looking for financial help to keep Pig's doors open. So we have a unique opportunity this weekend, starting at 6 a.m. on Friday. In fact, we're really looking for you. If you're going to give, the earlier you can give, the better, because the first $25,000 that is donated through this website, and I'll talk about the specifics later, but through the 401 Gives website is matched. So once the $25,000 has been matched, it's done. The weekend is still going on. They're still taking donations, but to maximize them, we would like to get them matched. So we're asking folks as early as you can, starting at 6 a.m. on Friday, to give what you feel comfortable to, a nonprofit organization. So it is tax deductible if those things matter to you, but it is one way that will help us keep the doors open longer and allow us to kind of have even more time to bounce back from the pandemic and get more students through the door, which allows us to keep those doors open, that sort of thing. So I've asked for my friends and family to give to this organization in the past. This is the first time. It's really kind of crucial that we're raising money at this time. So that's my pitch. We'll talk a little bit, and Jerrod, I'm certainly jump in, but we'll talk a little bit more about how you can support us by coming to Pig this weekend. But right now, I wanted to really focus on the donation portion of it, the cold donation, where you go to 401gives.com, search for the Providence Improv Guild, and make a tax deductible donation as close as you can to 6 a.m. Eastern on this Friday, the 31st.
And I think one correction, I don't think it's just the first $25,000. I think it's the first $25,000 per nonprofit.
Is it? Because Katie's email
made over $1 million away last year.
Okay, cool. So, but still, if you're going to give, don't wait. Don't wait. Yeah. The drive goes from Friday to Sunday. Don't wait. Just if you're going to give as quick as you can, so we lock in as much of those $25,000.
Yeah, we're just a little nonprofit trying to survive. You know, and we definitely could use that help. This is a very, very big weekend for us.
Yeah. And Jerrod, I'm going to shout out to Jerrod because he's very much part of the team driving this, and he's new into this role. He stepped up. Stepping up is really, it's one of the best forms of leadership when someone needs to step up. And Jerrod, even though he puts on a persona of being egotistical, he's one of the most humble guys that I know. So I know. So I really appreciate the work that he and a few others have done to put this weekend on, and I think it's going to be a great one. There's workshops, there's shows, and at the end of the show, we'll tell you exactly what shows. They're all free, and if you're an improviser, the workshops are just $10. As of now, 3 of 4 are still open and accepting registrations. So you can go to improvpig.com, but we'll go over that at the end during our plugs.
Yeah, because me and Ian are combining forces on one. And that's what? I haven't talked to him about it yet, but kind of as an additional enticement for donating is everybody who donates, you will mow your lawn once this summer.
Oh my God! I wish I knew we were going to talk about this. I'm going to yes and because I'm a good improviser. I have at my summer place, I have about a sidewalk length of grass. Like, that's not true, but it's pretty true. I have a lawnmower, an electric lawnmower, battery powered. It looks like a child's toy. It is so thin, and I look like a giant behind it. So yes, I will show up at your house with my little toy lawnmower, and I will cut one swatch of land. I'm not doing the whole thing because I would have to charge that battery 500 times. Even with this small lawn, I need to use 2 batteries because it wears out. So I'm not doing anybody's average normal size lawn. But
if you donate at least $50, Ian will wear a clown nose while he does it. And not just
I'll do the clown nose for free, Jerrod. Let's
good. You know what? Yeah, that's good. See, I appreciate you stepping up to do your part to help out.
Anything that works. It also helps that we have one viewer right now. So right now I'm getting one person. So unless we have a lot of rewatchers, I think I'm safe.
Fingers crossed. So
Ian, how about that UConn?
I was about to say, I know you're a big college basketball fan.
This is me setting you up. This is because I can see what is coming on the slide. How about that UConn, huh?
What a smooth segue that was.
Thank you.
University of Connecticut in the Final Four of the NCAA tournament. Connecticut is really good at college basketball. Yeah. Both the men's team and especially the women's team, just powerhouses for this entire century. And a lot of people think that the University of Connecticut basketball teams are the only good things about Connecticut. And I am here to tell you, you're close, but not the only good thing about Connecticut. So I decided to go out and put together a list of other things Connecticut is good at. Now, I want to, as I say every episode, if you're looking for somebody to do some graphic design work and you're impressed by the graphic designs that I used for this, just let me know.
But I'm waiting for you to start taking over Pig's graphic designs.
Right?
Yeah.
Forget Pig.
Pig just uses color. How dare they? How dare they put color?
You know what? If we were advertising to dogs, we'd just be wasting our money.
That's right.
On those expensive color palettes. But Connecticut, Connecticut is good at things other than just college basketball, Ian.
Mm-hmm.
We both know that.
Hey, we're both from Connecticut, so although I think you like Connecticut a bit more than I do.
I don't know.
It's a race to the bottom. All right.
But I did think of a few things Connecticut was good at other than college basketball.
All right.
For example, reducing I-95 traffic to 1 lane. Connecticut is amazing at that. Uncannily good at it.
Yeah, and I would even add at the worst possible times.
I
think, like Thanksgiving weekend. Yup.
I've driven that one so many times. Come home Thanksgiving weekend, the Santa Claus, it's like, let's shut down a bunch of I-95 right here. They love doing it. They're amazing. I've driven like the length of I-95 so many times. I've never done it, and there hasn't been construction. Never. And
it encourages 84 to try to follow suit a lot of the time. So like it really sets a standard for the other interstates that go through Connecticut.
And I've like driven I-95, and they're doing road work on like a 10-foot patch of road. They're like filling in a pothole or something, and they've just got miles and miles and miles of highway shut down.
Yeah, you go through those orange buckets with nothing wrong with that lane for forever. And I don't know what it is. Connecticut is not a big state, but my God, 95 just seems like even if you ever, which has never happened before, but even if you were to take it and there's no traffic on it, it seems like you're on it for a year and a half.
I-95 in Connecticut is wider than the nation of Russia.
Yeah,
it is massive somehow.
It's bigger on the inside.
Tiny. Nope.
Yeah. Nope. You're right. You're right. All right.
It's just I just can't get over it. It's like the state of Connecticut is like, we got all these orange barrels. We got no place to put them. So we're just going to put them out on the highway for a few miles. That's what I think it is.
Yeah, they store them there. That's where they live. And then they redeploy them when they need it. But when they're not needed, they're shutting down a lane on 95 because they have nowhere else to put them.
Yeah, transportation is priority number 2 for I-95 in Connecticut. Priority number 1 is it's a storage facility for orange barrels.
And somebody on the state payroll, brother-in-law owns a barrel company, and they just ordered them all.
Right. Yeah. You're making this now. That is more of a Rhode Island thing.
That is more of a Rhode Island thing. Yes, but Connecticut, they're close. Sometimes that spills over, right?
So, but this isn't the only thing Connecticut's good at. No.
Good.
You know what else Connecticut is good at? Having the quietest capital city in America on a weekend. It is unbelievable.
I'd even argue after 5.
Fair enough. I've been at Hartford on the weekend, and it is insane how quiet that city is on the weekend. Providence is, it's a small town, big city, and it is just, it's like a metropolis compared to Hartford.
Kids are parking, like I can't imagine that they even open garages on the weekend because no one would use them. There's just, well, first of all, why are you going? Everything is closed.
Right.
Like it is absolutely closed. You got to go to West Hartford, Windsor, East Hartford, Wethersfield to get anything on the weekend. There is not going to be a thing for you in Hartford.
The only reason to go to Hartford on the weekend is to enjoy all of the available parking spots.
That's it. And to get away from it all. If you want to go to a place that you're not going to see one other solitary soul, go to Bushnell Park because nobody else is there.
This farm, I just need to get away from it all here. Yeah. Let's head to Hartford.
A beautiful, beautiful. I don't even think the hotels are open on the weekend. It's that bad.
The 7-Elevens close on the weekend in Hartford. And it's unbelievable. People watching this might think, whatever. Go to Hartford on a weekend. It's crazy. It's like
it really is. It's like you could go. I think like the Hebron area has more activity. This is a deep Connecticut reference.
That is a deep Connecticut reference.
Yeah. I think the Hebron area has more activity than Hartford. So, Jerrod, you and I can appreciate that one.
It is unreal how quiet Hartford is on the weekend. Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? That's a great thing Connecticut does. You know what else Connecticut does? That's good.
What's that?
Making people think you're rich.
That's a good one.
It's a weird reputation because honestly, most of the people I know in Connecticut are a little white trashy. You go to other places and people think Connecticut, you gotta have money.
Yeah. This is something you only recognize if you travel.
Yeah.
Or you really watch pop culture because it'll happen in pop culture a lot. They're from Connecticut. And they all have that mid-Atlantic accent and and I'm like, no, but yeah, you're right. It's got and I mean, don't get us wrong. There are rich people in Connecticut.
Yeah.
But they're on very small areas. They're very small. They make up very small part of Connecticut, mostly near New York City, like New Canaan, Greenwich.
Yeah. And
they're filthy rich at that point.
My assumption is it's just because there's so much media that comes from New York City that's where the whole thing of Connecticut being the rich state has come from. But Connecticut, honestly, if you've ever been there, it's either Connecticut is too. It's cow towns and strip malls.
Yeah.
That
Well,
is
and
the
also,
state of Connecticut.
also, they don't have to worry about paying for anything like security in Hartford on the weekends. They can reinvest that money.
Right.
Yeah.
You
There's
can
nothing.
leave,
There's no crime going on because no one's there.
just lock the door in your Ferrari. You don't even have to put the club in the steering wheel.
That's exactly it. You leave the doors wide open.
There's plausible deniability because they're not wasting camera time.
No.
You want to commit crimes, go to Hartford on the weekend.
Yep. And good luck.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're robbing. There's nothing good there.
What are you gonna steal? Parking spots?
They don't even have all the shopping has left Hartford. It's insurance. It's insurance company and bodegas and restaurants. That's Hartford, and a hotel.
Nobody's like, let's go. I feel like going shopping. Let's head to Hartford. Nobody said
now. Do you remember? It's no longer this, but their motto was they're the rising star of Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was Hartford's motto. They had to abandon it because it wasn't rising.
In all fairness, that's a pretty low.
Yeah. Compared to what? Rising star. Yeah, that's a low bar to clear for that star. Yeah.
Look out, New Britain. We're coming for you.
We're coming for you.
But you know what? There's more good things about Connecticut. More things Connecticut is good at. You know what else Connecticut is good at? Getting you in a conversation with people who are either really into casinos or really into insurance. And I like casinos, but I don't talk to people about liking casinos because there's nobody you ever want to listen to talk about casinos. And the only thing worse than that is people want to talk about insurance. And in Connecticut, you are super apt to run into either one. And it's awful. It's the worst place to get stuck in a conversation with a stranger.
I couldn't even talk more than 30 seconds about insurance. Like, yeah, the premiums are high. I have Geico, just my car insurance. I have renter's insurance.
Oh my God. You get stuck in a conversation with somebody who wants to talk about insurance and it's just.
Yeah. And casinos, it's kind of like talking about a dream. That's your experience, and I'm happy for you, but I don't want to hear about the time you hit it big or lost it all. Although I lost it all, I'm a little bit more interested in.
You know what? Here's a hot take, and I'm a guy who likes casinos, but for the most part,
I do too.
Casinos are pretty similar across the board. You go to Foxwoods, you go to Mohegan, some different stores. It's the same beats. You go to casinos in like Atlantic City. It's like being in Foxwoods or Mohegan Sun. You go to any of them, they're so much the same that I don't want to talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have one conversation if I went to talk to somebody about it, a few sentences, and it's like the buffet was pretty decent.
There's one exception that makes this rule. I find talking about the people that frequent casinos can be fun conversation. There are some characters, and I've seen a lot.
No, because I enjoy being at them too much for me not to like wonder, am I falling into this category?
No. Just go to Foxwoods and talk about the bingo goers. Then you're safe.
That's a good time. Foxwoods Casino Bingo is a good time. Look at this. Look what we're doing. We're from Connecticut, and we're talking about casinos already.
Yep.
Wow.
It's in our blood.
And I noticed my centering was terrible in this slide.
No. This is all part of your brand. It's perfect.
But you know what, Ian? We've talked about a lot of things that Connecticut is good at.
Yeah.
There's more.
Oh, my God. I can't believe it.
Oh, my God. You know what Connecticut is really good at?
What's that?
Being in New England and also kind of New York-y, but being despised by both.
That's true.
Connecticut, the least favorite state in New England. The other New England states, the state they hate most is Connecticut. Yep. There's some animosity towards Massachusetts because it thinks it's king shit in New England. But
yeah, but you can't deny it's part of New England. Just it's smack dab in the middle. It has Boston, which you can't deny is just a great city in New England. I'm not saying the best, but it's a great city in New England.
Yeah,
you can't deny it. With Connecticut, there's plausible deniability, and I don't know this for a fact, but I suspect that if you quiz non-New Englanders on what the New England states are, Connecticut will be the one they forget almost every time.
Yep. And then you go to New York, and it's like, yeah, go to Connecticut on the weekend or whatever. But they don't like Connecticut.
No.
They talk shit on Connecticut in New York too.
You know what? Connecticut is the Florida of New England. I said it.
I'm going to disagree with you there. I said it. I got to disagree with you there on that one.
Do you?
It's one of the best education systems in the country.
Yeah, but they skew a little conservative, my friend.
That's a far cry from far.
Hey, I didn't say they were Florida. They're the Florida of New England. All things are changed, right? So, but if you had one state in New England that was closest to Florida, it isn't Rhode Island. It isn't Massachusetts.
It's Massachusetts.
It's not Massachusetts. No.
Massachusetts has had how many Republican governors of this century?
Yeah, but then you got the western side of the state, and there's a dichotomy there that Florida does not have. They are equally problematic.
No, Florida cities trend blue. Florida's got a lot of non-city that trends red. You are wrong. You can take your little Florida comparison.
See, now we know who really likes Connecticut. You're the true fan. I am not the true fan.
I don't dislike Connecticut.
I know.
I'm the one putting this list together of all the things Connecticut is good at.
It's a great job.
But Florida, Florida is now the F word. In fact, there's other things Connecticut's good at, Ian.
All right, I'm looking. You're running. You must have really worked hard on this list for a long time. But
it took a lot of mental power. I'm exhausted. Steamed cheeseburgers and clam pizza. Another thing Connecticut is good at. If you don't know, Connecticut has a quasi-famous establishment that does steamed cheeseburgers. That's right. They put the hamburger meat and the cheese into a little...
Are you talking about Lewis Lunch?
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
I saw them do a food truck. I've seen like a thing on them on TV in Hartford. I've seen the food truck from them down in before.
It's been contested. It's been contested, but they say that's the first hamburger in America was made at Lewis Lunch. My problem with Lewis Lunch is they do not have any condiments. You get it with it's a hamburger. You get a hamburger, lettuce.
Not Lewis Lunch.
Okay.
Lewis Lunch is the one where they like do the burgers and what looks like an old-fashioned toaster.
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of the place. It does steamed cheeseburgers. It takes the hamburger and the cheese, puts it into whatever container, puts a bunch of them into a steamer, and steams up your burgers for you. They say it makes them moister, but you are eating steamed hamburger.
I feel like I grew up in Connecticut and never experienced this. Like I feel like I haven't. And I clam pizza is just the grossest thing I've ever heard of. So yeah.
And it is New Haven style pizza. That's that white clam pizza, considered by many to be the best pizza in the country. Now, I like clams. I like seafood. That clam pizza is not the best pizza that I've ever had. And it's a really weird thing to be well known for.
Can I say something? This is a big plug, and
you have not stopped saying things the whole time.
I know. Stop asking permission. Just do. It's more to get you to stop talking.
Good luck with that.
My good friend's husband family owns a pizza shop in Connecticut. Okay. And right now, WFSB in Hartford is having a competition to find out who's the best pizza in Connecticut. They're down to the final four. They're down to Final Four. They have beat out some of the big New Haven contenders. They are down to the Final Four. So if you are so inclined, go to WFSB.com and vote for Pleasant Pizza in Willimantic. So that is my plug. But they're in the Final Four. No one thought they would get a pizza place in Willimantic, but they are beloved and they are honestly good people. And parents started now it's the brothers that are running the restaurant. And then they want me to. I said I'm coming to because I've never tried the pizza, but it sounds like it's my type of thing. I'm very particular about pizza, so I am going when the weather's nice, so I can sit outside. But I am going, and but they were trailing today in the poll for they're going against their neighbor pizza place in Willimantic, which is just odd that it's both in a very small town, but Tony's Pizza, and they said they're great people, so there's no bad choice. But I'm trying to get Pleasant Pizza to advance, so you have until I think 11 o'clock tonight or tomorrow. I don't know if it's today and tomorrow or just today, but go to WFSB, do their best pizza in Connecticut poll, and do it. And I guarantee you, clam pizza is not winning.
Oh my God, that took forever, Ian. Oh
yeah,
my
I know.
God.
I know. I could have made it longer. I kept saying, "Oh, let me say it one more time."
So now, regardless of all that, clam pizza is the pizza that Connecticut is famous for. It's a dumb thing to be famous for. The steamed cheeseburgers is Ted's restaurant. They do the steamed cheeseburgers, and they have the food truck, and it's steamed burgers. So, whoop the freaking shit. Steamed. And it always, like, I write this, and it reminds me of the Simpsons episode where Principal Skinner was trying to fool Superintendent Lovejoy, telling him we're having steamed clams for dinner. Then, no, I said steamed hams. That's what this slide completely reminds me of.
First of all, you can't complain that I went on too long because it allowed you time to look up where the steamed hamburgers were.
My God, I Googled it. I could have Googled it 3 more times during that story.
And I just put the link on all of our channels for people to go vote for Pleasant Pizza.
Anyway, Ted's restaurant. Freaking.
Yeah. Where is Ted's restaurant?
Meriden.
I'm going to go. Next time I visit New Haven, I'm going to go.
Great idea. Get that steamed cheeseburger.
Hey, I got to try it. And that doesn't. Actually, they say air frying a burger is a pretty good way to keep it juicy too. Or pressure cooking in the Instapot.
I will keep that in mind. Thank you for the interesting bit of trivia.
There it is.
But you know what, Ian?
What's that?
There's even more? Connecticut's good at. No, Connecticut's good at other things.
Yeah.
Like, for example, having 5 or 6 parts of the state that are totally different from each other in every way, yet all somehow equally boring. That if you've never been to Connecticut, you don't understand. Connecticut is like 5 or 6 states in one state. The different parts of it are crazy, drastically different. I know before I said, cow towns and strip malls, still totally different personalities are, but they're all so boring. There is not one exciting part of Connecticut, and they're all boring in their own special way of being boring. It's incredible. It's uncanny. It's unnatural how boring Connecticut is throughout the state.
And that also follows them to the Big E, because their state house at the Big E is the worst. It's the worst of all the state houses.
It really is. It's like you see these other states, like you go to Maine and it's got all the awesome stuff with blueberries and Rhode Island
potatoes.
Mass with they do the lobster rolls, and then it's Connecticut.
Yeah,
and it's like you just walk in, wait, they're doing construction somewhere in the building every year to make it seem like you're really in Connecticut. It's how is it so boring? I can't get over it. But you know what? Being boring isn't the only thing Connecticut gets good at. I love how you're like, I have nothing to talk about on this one because it's so incredibly painfully true.
It's so true. It's so true. It just bored me.
Right. I had to get all these lists out of a state that I'm talking about how freaking boring it is. All right. But you know what? Not the only other thing Connecticut's good at, Ian.
What's that?
You know what else Connecticut is good at?
I'm waiting.
Giving you a speeding ticket. I moved back in 2014. I've worked in Rhode Island. I've lived in Rhode Island about half the time that I've spent there. Worked in Rhode Island almost the entire time. Done most of my driving in Rhode Island. Gotten more than one speeding ticket in Connecticut. They're always in Connecticut. It's like a hobby or a pastime. I don't know if it's when there's no tolls on 95, they've got to give out more speeding tickets to keep things funded or whatever. They are just looking for you in Connecticut.
Which is converse to the city of New Haven, where you could blatantly commit a crime and the cop will not react to it.
Unless it's speeding.
No, even speeding. I watch in New Haven, just New Haven. Like if you are on the highway, see, I think you're talking about state police because I would agree with you. I've been pulled over more in Connecticut than any other.
Yeah, it's always been stadies who got me.
Yeah, I'm not even a speed demon. Like my sister makes fun of me. I moved to North Carolina and came back a slow driver, and I've never gotten rid of it.
That's why you drive when we go down to Pennsylvania, because
that's right. I wasn't going to get a ticket.
We'd have to split the speeding ticket. It just like sucks the life right out of you. And it's not highway driving where I've been getting pulled over by them. It's these side roads. And you're going on them. It's long straight-away. The speed drops down to 35 all of a sudden. And you're like, well, I'm doing 60 right now. And they're like, you go, I'm going to lower it a little. But if I'd have put you for this, you would have gone to jail. Like, that's a good use of our prison resources.
Yeah. Well, and also, you can't tell anybody not from Connecticut to sympathize because they think you're rich.
Right.
You can afford a ticket.
You're from Connecticut.
Yeah. Serves you right.
You're the insurance capital of America. You can always get cheap insurance there.
Yeah. It's not going to impact you. So.
But you know what, Ian? This isn't the only thing Connecticut's good at.
You went for a very long list, huh?
Yeah, there's a lot of things Connecticut's really, really good at. Like, for example, having a refreshing lack of fun cities. I don't think there's another state in America, maybe Iowa, that has no fun cities in it at all. There's a few towns that are nice. Mystic is nice. A lot of traffic, but it's nice. But Mystic is not a city. The area, places you might consider to be a city, Hartford, maybe New Haven, Bridgeport, New Britain, maybe. I don't know. They are all awful. They are not fun at all. They're like, if you were like, I need to go somewhere and just, I want to see a city that reminds me of depression. It's any city in Connecticut. There's not one city where it's like, let's go here this weekend and have a good time. No.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's not none of them are destinations unless you have business or like, it's just nobody's going there on vacation if they can help it.
Yeah. They're all great cities to leave. No great cities to go to.
No. I mean, in Connecticut, what's the fun thing? You go to, if you're into it, the casinos and that, they make you go as far away from a city as possible.
Right. Yeah. Right.
They don't want the taint of the cities to get on their casino enjoyment.
Every part of Connecticut, if you go to people there and say, you know, where do you go for fun? It's either the casino or it's out of state.
Yes.
You know, on the eastern part of the state, you go to Rhode Island. Southern part, you take the ferry over to Long Island. Western part of the state, you go to New York. Even the northern part, they're in Hartford. They're going to Springfield for the week. Let's go to the Basketball Hall of Fame.
And they got an impressive shoreline, but because of Long Island, there's no surf. So there's no, even their beaches aren't fun. Like I remember going to, we used to go to the Connecticut beaches, and I remember the first time going to Rhode Island, and it was like, what are these things that I've been missing out on? Waves?
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think there's one roller coaster in the state of Connecticut. I don't think there's one.
There is. You got Quasi Amusement Park.
Oh yeah.
And it's
the happiest place in Connecticut.
Yeah. There's you know, like they try to take claim of Six Flags New England because you know they're the state over, you know, like they missed it by like 10 feet.
The whole state overshadowed by Agawam, Massachusetts.
That's exactly it. Yeah, they try to claim it, but
oh. But you know what, Ian? We've had a lot of slides.
Yeah.
And we've talked about a lot of things that Connecticut's good at. And some we've agreed a little bit on, some we've disagreed on. Mm-hmm. This next one is one I think is incontrovertible. You will agree wholeheartedly. Your mom would probably pipe up and agree as well on this one. Because I will tell you, Ian, there's one more thing Connecticut is really good at. You know what that is?
What's that?
Making handsome fellas. Handsome fellas come from Connecticut, Ian.
Woo. Yeah, with substantial beards.
That's right. And all different, back and forth. Just Connecticut is, in its defense, a handsome fella state.
That is, I would say, the most handsomest fella state in the union.
I think so. I don't know why we're going out with this Constitution state bullshit.
Yeah,
Handsome fella state.
They're burying the lead on that.
Right? Why talk about the nutmeg state when you've got all the handsome fellas coming from there?
Yeah. Oh, you got to agree.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Or absentively, which I appreciate.
Absentively, yep.
More than absolutely, more than positively, that's the handsome fellas.
That is
Connecticut.
That's yeah. No, that's a good one. All right.
Well, that's all I've got.
In fact, oh, sorry. Hold on. In fact, how do I do this? Boom.
There we go.
Yeah. That's how important that is.
Everybody's going on just this graphical vacation right now, taking a look at this incredibly detailed slide I put together.
Well, and I felt like they were on handsome overload, like they needed a little bit of a break.
That's true.
That's
true.
All right. We can't deny you that long.
Surprised YouTube isn't out like trying to charge us for these for all the handsome we're providing.
I feel like the handsome filter is going on overload right now.
Right.
I don't even know what that means.
Snapchat's handsome filter is just taking your picture and overlaying it with a fella from Connecticut.
Yeah, they're like, they should just call it the fella from Connecticut filter.
Right.
But it's more descriptive.
You do that and people are going to think, oh, is it going to make me look rich? No, we went over that.
It's going to make you look like $1 million though.
Damn, I wish we had workshopped that joke before the show.
I know. Sometimes rehearsal is a good thing.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So, I will say, we've both been inordinately busy the last few weeks, and it's messed with our schedule. But I am hopeful that once we get out of April, I think I'm probably good for the 2 weeks from now. But once we get out of April, I'm pretty sure. I don't know about you, but I will be much better about keeping on the every 2 week schedule. We were really getting a good following there, and I want to. So if you're watching this afterwards and we're like, I can't keep up with these guys, they keep dropping shows or moving their time and that sort of thing, I think get us past these next few weeks, and we should be good for the summer. I would say to be every other week. So I just wanted to thank everybody for still tuning in and trying to find us.
Consistency is so important in these, and I'm sure for people like we missed one episode. It was like when there'd be like 2 or 3 years in between Game of Thrones seasons.
Yes.
Probably feels exactly the same to people here. And I want people to feel that.
Yeah, I don't want anybody to feel the tragedy that this show is, the tragedy that is Game of Thrones. Just
right.
So many deaths. So many deaths.
So many deaths.
Yeah. Hey, we haven't talked about our pop culture. Have you had any time to watch or see anything? Like I saw Shazam. I know we haven't talked about superhero movies in a while.
Oh, you know what? I haven't. I've kind of fallen off the track of going to the movie theater.
Yeah.
To watch movies, because that's one that I did want to see in the in the movie theater. I've been waiting for, like, I waited until Black Adam came out on HBO to watch that. Waited until Wakanda Forever came out on Disney Channel to.
Well, it's so fast. You don't have to wait that long anymore. You know. Yeah. Oh. It's Barb's bedtime. Good night, Barb.
Bye, Mom.
Woo. Yeah, I saw. I actually, as soon as it was able to go back to the theaters, I've been going pretty consistently. So I saw this month. I saw Scream, the new Scream movie, Shazam, and I saw John Wick on Monday night. And yeah. So I'm up on it, but we'll wait until you see them. But once you have, we should do an episode where we talk about it. We haven't done that.
Yeah, I just really have not felt like I've had the time.
Yeah.
Since the new year.
You know what it is, Jerrod? For me, my my go-to like reset. I've had a crappy day is the movie, so I actually use it as kind of a self-soothing thing. That's so new age hippie,
Yeah.
but it's one of the things I enjoy doing. So yeah.
Mine is to like do charity work and help the less
No,
fortunate.
I know you're a saint, like you give of yourself. Meanwhile, I'm just stuffing my face with popcorn in the lounger in the Warwick Theater.
Gladly talking on his phone.
Yes, yes, with a second phone videotaping it.
No.
Yeah, I'm telling you, Jerrod, if you ever start going back to the theaters, getting that Showcase Cinemas monthly pass to get into movies for free is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
I've
been like Succession is back. I'm very happy.
I saw that. I saw the first episode, liked it.
Yeah, I'm happy that is back. Did we ever talk about the whatever the Game of Thrones and the Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, what's some dragon, the Heart of the Dragon, or the Dragons and the Dragons?
Dragon.
Yeah, no, we never talked about it, but I watched it and enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Yeah, the Fast and the Furious Dragon. I thought the Game of Thrones prequel was better than the whole Lord of the Rings one.
I watched the first episode of that Lord of the Rings show, and that was enough for me.
Yeah, I guess when they were doing it, like there was a lot that they couldn't reference, both from who was the writer, Peter.
Oh, Tolkien.
Tolkien, yeah, both from the Tolkien side and from the Peter Jackson side with the Lord of the Ring and the Hobbit movies. So they got pretty restricted in the kind of characters that they could use and pull. But man, I thought the Game of Thrones one was really good.
Yeah, I honestly, I thought I was full up of Game of Thrones. Like by the time it was done, I was like, I don't know if I really need to see any more of this world. But I was proven wrong because I watched the first episode just out of curiosity, and I did it after. I think I might have done it after they had all been aired and ate them up. Like I just was like, oh, this is really good.
Yeah.
I'm knee deep in the Mandalorian and the Star Trek Picard. I know you're not as big a Star Trek person, but and I actually like the animated Bad Batch, the Star Wars animated Bad Batch. It's been consistently really good Star Wars. Oh, and Andor was one of my favorite.
Andor was excellent.
Oh my God, that was. Yeah, you can make a Star Wars that has nothing to do with the Force or Jedi or clones, or you can make it, and it's intriguing and it's good and it's better than any of the prequels or sequels. Like I just was like, actually, my favorite is non-original trilogy is Rogue One, and this is such a great lead up to Rogue One. It took me so much by surprise. Like, and it's such a great commentary on our society, not only as a country, but as a world. Like, I just am like, this is what happens when fascists rise up, right? It's so good. It's so good.
I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it because the Star Wars stuff can be very hit or miss with me.
Yep.
It's either really, really good or it's really, really bad. And I've kind of been stealing it myself for it being just not as good. I liked The Mandalorian.
Yeah.
I didn't love The Mandalorian.
No.
The movies, they're enjoyable because it's Star Wars, but just didn't grab me anymore.
You're right.
I enjoyed Obi-Wan more than other things that have come out, but I definitely enjoyed this one.
I totally agree with you. I did not know it was going to grab me as much, and then when I realized everything that people say they love about Star Wars, they did not include in it. Jedis and mystical things. It was a political. Anyway, I thought it was genius how they did 3 episodes and then they would change. They would advance the story. They deal with 3 issues to resolve whatever it is, and then they're at a new point, and it's another 3 episodes. So by the time you get through 4 arcs, it feels like you had 4 different seasons almost. And that
was kind of my problem with what the Mandalorian has been, is that every episode is it's kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
And the next episode is its own thing. And the
And they're
overarching
loosely tied
story
together, but it seems like it goes
really
on forever.
Yeah. It's just kind of just there to connect all of these individual stories. It's like an 80s sitcom in that respect. But like what I liked about like Andor and Obi-Wan, I felt was like you knew the storyline. You know, you were following it. You were going.
Well, that's fun because it's filling in gaps that we knew this had happened, but you know, now it really fills out. You know, the only thing I didn't like about Obi-Wan was the Leia was too precocious. I was like, no, I don't care who she is. She really annoyed me. But I get people get angry when I say that, so maybe shouldn't say that anymore.
I'm furious right now.
What's that?
I'm furious right now.
Yeah, I know. I've gotten in more arguments. I'd like, no, that's how Princess Leia would be at 6. Okay, she's gonna crawl through the and be able to fix a heavy piece of machinery at 6 years old. Okay. Anyways, that's as much as I criticize any pop culture because I don't want to be that guy.
You know, one thing I like about both Star Wars and Star Trek, it's like all this futuristic technology and everything.
Yeah.
But whenever they show like where they sleep, it always looks so sparse and just uncomfortable and shitty. Like,
you're right.
Awesome beds.
I'm really hoping that when we're that advanced technology, we'd figure out the best sleep solution. I can't imagine it's a bunk bed.
Right? Super thin pillows with everything on it. It doesn't look.
I remember watching. This is going to date me, but watching Buck Rogers with Gil Gerard, and So this really.
Was that something you'd watch it, and then instead of dialogue, the words would pop up on the screen, and maybe
it wasn't a talkie.
Playing the piano off to the side.
Yeah, it wasn't a talkie. It was a silent picture. No, but it was early 80s, and I remember. I don't know why, and I was real young. Like I don't remember the plot or anything, but I remember when they gave him his first place to sleep, he couldn't figure it out, and apparently you had to say you lay down in what looked like one of those clear pool flotation mats, like. He would lay on that, and then he'd have to say, I want to go to bed. And no covers, no anything, but the lights dim. So they predicted Alexa is basically what it came down to. But I just always remember that. I'm like, that's as good as it's going to get. It's Buck Rogers in the 24th century. In the 24th century, that's what we have to look forward to. Even at like 7 years old, I was like, no, thank you. I'm not interested in that future.
I think blanket technologies comes to a halt. Real life, like we've got weighted blankets. The future will be like nice, thin, weighted blankets.
Yeah, absolutely. Or technology that does the same thing. It's not going to be nothing. It's not going to go to bed fully clothed because I don't care. Even if you're doing the environment, you're always chilly. You could, yeah.
If it's the environment,
unless you make it humid, and then it's just gross because it's too hot.
How do you slip one leg out if they're doing it environmental? You can't do it.
You can't.
Integral part to the human sleeping experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And how do you get a good roll around in a twin mattressy type of thing? You need a big platform. You need surface area.
Yes.
Anyways. All right, let's plug because we got a big weekend and I haven't eaten dinner. So as we said at the beginning of the show, 401 Gives this weekend. We have at Providence Improv Guild, at 95 Empire, we have something for everyone. First of all, if you're watching this and you're an improviser, there are hour-long workshops happening at 10:30, 11:30, 12:30 sold out as of now, and 1:30, right? The 1:30 is very special. It is the best of the workshops because it is put on by Jerrod and myself. Jerrod and I are doing Jerrod developed this thing. It's a walk-on workshop, and we're both going to co-facilitate it. So 1:30. So if you want to learn what to do, and maybe even more appropriately, what not to do when walking onto a scene. So for those of you who have trouble with this, are confused by this or want a little practice with this, come to our session. But the 1030 is also done by Jerrod without Ian, so by definition it's inferior. But he's doing Jacques. Yeah, do you want to talk a little bit about that one?
Yeah, so Jacques. I called that because I really wanted to use that name. So
you just want to yell the word in a bad French accent is really
Jacques.
Yeah.
The beret just comes on. Yeah, that one's about sometimes you'll be in a scene and you're just stuck. You've done all the work, but it's just not getting there. And rather than retread back and reset the base reality, make an accusation. That is a great way to then get an unusual thing, get game, create emotion in a scene. So we're going to work on that. And that's extrinsic. As an added bonus, we're going to work on some intrinsic things when you are on a scene or in a scene where all of a sudden you are going to I mess up the words. I call it a grand admission, but you're going to admit to something. Might be a secret. It might be like some of your history, might be your philosophy. But you in character are going to do that. And that's an intrinsic way to then add those same elements to a scene that just needs a spark. Maybe you're stuck. Maybe it's okay, but you really need to bring it out. So those are the two places we're going to dive into on that one. Then at 11:30, we've got Bagley. He's doing a workshop on side support. I think that's going to be a great workshop. I would really recommend people do that. For non-improvisers out there watching, side support is just the other improvisers do the things they can do to help the scene that's going on right there in front of you, how they can add to that scene. I think that's going to be a great workshop. I've never seen a workshop specifically on that before, and I think it's very needed. So yeah. I am glad about that. Bowler's workshop on creating character already sold out. For those who don't know, Melissa Bowler is incredible. She's amazing. She puts on a workshop. People know Bowler, and they sign up for it. Great teacher, great improviser. So
and you know what all these workshops have in common?
What?
I'm participating in all of them.
All right.
Yeah. So if you want some Ian time, I'm either presenting at the 1:30 or I'm taking the first three. So
yeah. And then that 1:31, the walk-on workshop, we're going to have that broken down into our three types of walk-ons, and which ones to do more, which ones to do less, and talk about how you can do them well. I would recommend, if you're an improviser at any level, those are great workshops to do. Trying to create kind of a skill builder series right there when you can spend an hour. So you're not going there paying for or doing a long 3-hour workshop. It's a 1-hour workshop where you can focus on these particular improv skills. So I think as an improviser, it is a great opportunity to either learn them or brush up on them, start thinking about them some more in a little bit of a different way. So I think it's
all $10. All the instructors are donating their time because we believe in PIG and we want to give back. And how we're asking that everybody else give back is to participate if you're an improviser and are available. These are great. It's not a waste of time by any means. And hopefully the price isn't prohibitive. That's why we're donating our time. And then the $10 goes as a donation to PIG. And then if you're not an improviser, we have so many shows. So many shows on Saturday.
It all begins. How many show times we have on Saturday, Ian?
Yeah, we have, Jerrod, I believe we have
four.
We have four. We have a 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, which has nice things. Bengay Fever and Space Trash. Right? Some of our favorite teams that grace our stage on a regular basis.
Yeah. I've got to tell you, Space Trash might be my favorite team to watch right now.
Really?
They are always so good. Their show last Saturday was we were there.
Yeah.
Had me in tears.
I'm only slightly hurt because you're not wrong, but it just maybe next time wait until I'm not in the room when you give that kind of just saying.
Somebody's got to be. They are so good. And
then at 5 o'clock, this is the one that I feel you should come to because it's got both of us in this set. You got impulse comedy, short form like that. Like Pig does a lot of long form. So whenever there's short form, you should rush out. And we got is it 4 people on team 5?
Yeah,
four people. Some of the best short form that Rhode Island has to offer. Some of the, I will say it. Yeah. Even though he just hurt me deeply on his last comment. But yeah, so come out and see that. We also have Mixtape, which is all the female house team members on one team. And I probably had a few years ago one when they were a different iteration but same concept, one of the best sets I've ever seen at Providence.
I always say it's the best improv set I've ever seen.
So
different names, some different cast of characters, but there's still quite a few who are on there. But the
heart is still there. The community of that team is still there.
Yeah, and great improvisers. And I love seeing really all Pig's women presenting performers on that team. And representation is important. And I just wish it's a great opportunity for other young women presenting improvisers out there who want examples of how awesome improvisers can be right there and feel represented. That's the place to see it, because those are some of the best improvisers in the state are on that team, and very exciting.
Yep. And then another team called Netflix and Shell. They do good stuff.
Now, that is Ian's team, and I had a chance to watch them finally a few weeks ago, and I had a great time watching that set. That was another just really great set, great group mind on that team. Just laugh after laugh after laugh after laugh. No bad scenes at all. Very solid. Totally worth your time.
Totally worth your time. Hopefully. And guess what? I think we're burying the lead on this. We still have 2 more sets to go through. But did we mention these are all free shows?
Yeah, free shows. Show up. We just ask you to make a donation. We'll have
of whatever you're comfortable with. Yeah. Even if that comfortable is not paying, we want you there, right? We want you to donate what you can, and get a sample of why this place is so important to us, right?
Yeah.
Then we have the 7 p.m. show. We have
heavy set. That 7 p.m. one
is out of control because you got Suavocado, you got Crotch Davison, and then you got Dr. Nighttime, another Jerrod joint.
Dr. Nighttime, maybe the best improv team in Rhode Island right now.
Yeah.
In my personal opinion.
Yeah. You be the judge, people. I'll be there. Let me know if Jerrod speaks the truth.
It is fit, and it's a fantastic. Crotch Davidson, about half of Crotch Davidson is Dr. Nighttime performers, and that's really kind of Pig's travel team down south, and they've been requested. That team's been requested by name down there to perform on a monthly basis.
I had the honor of performing with them a couple weeks ago, and it was a fantastic set. It was they
strong team. Yeah.
They and that's an example of a team that the core group went through the levels together and started doing indie teams as soon as they were able to. One with another iteration of a team, one Battle for Your Bacon. Like it's really cool to see people perform that have that much time spent on stage together and in rehearsals together and in classes together. So
you can really see it. See it.
Yeah. And then 9 o'clock we switch it up a little because we don't want too much improv to be overwhelming. Like that's a lot of improv. So we're gonna do sketch.
Our sketch show,
yeah.
And I will tell you, once I since the last show, I think I've become the artistic director of Pig, and one of my priorities has been sketch. And I've talked to Katie, who pretty much runs the sketch team now, that sketch really needs to be a big priority for Pig, and we are working on doing that, and I'm really excited to see the sketch show. I get asked more about sketch classes than I do any other kind of class.
Yeah, well, everybody's familiar with Saturday Night Live. That's kind of the go-to example of what sketch is, right? It's the only scripted comedy that we do on our stage. There are people that write, some of them perform in it, some of them just write, some of them just perform, but all created by Pig community, putting on, and it's a hilarious show that's rehearsed. It is a lot of work, but the payoff is really great. We have some talented, not only writers but actors in their own right. Great comedic timing. So it's another art form that I'm happy to see expanding. So if you've never seen a hogwash show or sketch on Pig Stage, do yourself a favor. Coming out. A good idea would be go to the 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock. If you have to limit your time, get a helping of improv in, and then a helping of sketch. Again, both free. Pay what you can. Give a donation. All the money made during this weekend through improv 401 gives is counts towards the donation. So we just ask that you do that, and we'd appreciate it.
And, one of the things with the Pig Sketch Team, I've seen Pig Sketch Team perform alongside sketch teams from Boston and Chicago. And the Pig Sketch Team definitely holds up against other really big cities. It's not just come to see this little small city stuff. It is high quality.
Yeah, there's
on there.
Not everything that's written makes it to stage, because it is, it isn't. We're not just putting up things, that don't work. There's a process, and that's a good thing.
And for improvisers, after that, I want to do a great big jam. People who aren't improvisers who don't know, a jam is when a bunch of people get on stage and just out of nowhere do improv. It is so much fun. Some of the most fun sets I've ever been a part of have been in jams. And after this, because this is basically like a big comedy festival all day. If you're an improviser, come on out for that. And, get on there and have a fun time doing the jam. So that is all this weekend.
Can't wait. Oh, and then I'll continue with the plugs. I start my level 2 on Sunday. So I have a big improv weekend. So if anybody's been through our level 1 and wants to take a level 2, there's still spots available, but very few. So don't sleep on it.
Yeah. Should do it. For those who don't know, level 1 is the one that's the intro. It's where you learn, kind of what improv is. Level 2 is where you really learn how to improvise. And it is a good class. It really is the first time you can really see how the sausage is made when it comes to creating comedy and how to create comedy. You quickly learn that just being that funny person out there is very different than being able to get on stage and be funny in front of an audience.
True story. Cool.
All right. I think that's everything.
We bored everybody to tears, so that was our goal.
Well, you did. I brought him back.
Yeah, well, that's your role.
That's right.
So I'm hoping we're back 2 weeks, our regular time. Yep, exactly. 2 weeks, our regular time. So if you haven't, follow our YouTube page, follow our Facebook page. You're on one of those platforms right now, so make sure you hit the subscribe button on YouTube, the follow button on Facebook, so you get notified when we go live. But everybody have a wonderful. It's almost April 1, people. It's spring is here. Thank God.
Hope you did your taxes.
I did. Never been earlier than this year. So there you go.
I get nailed on them every year. I did mine grudgingly.
Yeah. Anyways, all right, everybody. Have a great week, and hopefully see you this weekend at 401 Gives a Pig.